Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of my Formula 1 career mode, which is going to be the Bahrain Grand Prix. And as you can see there, I've done fairly good in practice number 1, which is the only one. I've come in 13th place, so I'll have to repeat that in qualifying if I'm going to stand any chance of doing well. But in F1 2010, when this track had the brief new layout, I was pretty much unstoppable and I won pretty much nearly every time I played there. But now it's a different matter. I'm in the Williams. I'm pushing as hard as I can. I gained a little bit on Vern in the first sector, and in Q1 I must survive to stand any real chance of a good weekend, and I've gained a lot more time there in sector 2. But now it's Massa on the bubble now, and I've got to try and beat him, and I'm pushing, looking good so far. Can I get there in time? Yes, it's going to be 1:36.3. So I'm out of the drop zone. It's not going to last very long, as Felipe Massa had something to say about that. So I'm now back down to 17th, and I made the rather foolish decision of continuing to drive on with very little fuel. It was a big risk, but I had to take it at the time. You can see here I've gained another 10th on him, even though I'm slower, my personal best. So I've got to keep pushing. Can I make it? This is my big chance. I can't mess up, but no, so close. I did much better in that final sector, it was off. So that mistake cost me my position in Q2, as I had no more fuel and I ran out of time. So there we have it, I am eliminated. But Pastor Maldonado, you're going to see here, he did much better than me. Got the 15th position he needed. And then you can see Ricardo, Van der Gaard, Bianchi, Chilton and Peak were the other ones eliminated. So Hamilton, Vettel and Rosberg were top there in Q1, but now we move on to Q3, and here's the official grid. It's Rosberg on pole, Vettel second, Alonso third and Hamilton fourth. Maldonado reached 13th in Q2, which is good for him. But we move on now to our Grand Prix, 29 laps, 50% distance if you recall, and we're just about ready to go here. The lights are gone and we're away, and it's another pretty iffy start. Ricardo is going to get me on my inside there. The Marussias have a look at me as well. I'm down into 21st briefly, but I hit the brakes very late. I give Maldonado a bump. I'm stuck in neutral very briefly, and now my driver is upset there in one of the cane rooms, and now I have to beat these Marussias, and I do get a good drive out of the turn. I use all my cars. Maldonado and Hulkenberg pushing each other to the gravel trap there, and now I dive down the inside and I'm up to 14th. Sutil though gets good drive out of this corner. Can't really do much about that. I just back out and let him go. No real point there, sadly. I would have liked to try it, but it was very risky. And now we break into this tough right-hander. Again, a little bit of understeer, but not a big deal. And a decent gap to Maldonado, but I misjudged this corner coming up. Yeah, Sutil gets right into my braking zone, and I'm forced wide. And here comes Maldonado. Contact between the Williams now. It's going to be war between the teammates, that's for sure. I'm not giving up this position easily. Maldonado blocks the inside wisely, but now he kind of turns and blocks me. So I kind of go wide and force an undercut. Can I get past? No, Maldonado goes for me again. Maldonado keeps putting the pressure on me. He's not going to give up the Venezuelan. He pushes me wide again. I give him a bit of hell there, and I'm around the outside. So now Maldonado loses positions, and I'm back in the 14th. I've lost acres of time to Sutil, a lot of time lost due to that unnecessary battle. But a very dramatic first lap, as I usually seem to produce. So 14th is pretty good after starting in 17th, and we're across the line now. Vern wants to go at me without DRS. He's going to give it his best. Can he get the inside line? No, I'm blocking it. So I'm going to safely keep 14th. And of course he's not going to give up just there. He has one more chance heading into the third turn. And again, I just use similar tactics. Keep the inside line safe. Break in just about in time. And I'm okay. So that was pretty much it until lap 4. It's pretty boring actually. I gained enough of a gap to Vern without gaining on Sutil, which is not too bad I suppose. So there's the update. I'm 14th still, and Vern has broken a bit of distance to his opponent behind. I'm 2 seconds up, so there you go. And again, not much to talk about until lap 9. and I'm now up into 11th due to the pit stops, and I'm trying to take this last corner, but I'm stuck on the curbs. Oh no, I'm off, hit the wall, and the front wing has been destroyed, but I have to pit 1 lap earlier than I planned. Big upset there, very clumsy of me, but hopefully I didn't lose too much time. We're going to find out here. I now switch the option tyre. It's a 2-stopper strategy I had for this one, and I've kind of threatened its plan, so I'm now out in 16th position. Here's Maldonado down my outside. I brake very late, I'm frustrated, and I give him hell yet again. The teammate relationship is going to be out the window, but he is through. I didn't really gain a good line, and now I'm very angry. I really want that position back. I brake very late, I'm off on my cold tyres, and I've now gained the marbles and the dust, and Maldonado can brake. I don't know what I was really thinking here, but wasn't ideal, and just I have to keep going. And again, bouncing off the curves, I brake when I thought it was appropriate to, and I go wide again. Exceptionally poor driving there. Now Vern should have pretty much been allowed through, but they said no, it was pretty poor. Now I have to take this corner very safely as well, so very disastrous sequence there. Within less than a minute I'd blown my race, and now I thought I'd gain a bit of gap. Maldonado was away. I cleaned my tyres, continued to push, nearly making the same errors I did moments ago. But now Jean-Eric Verne is on the DRS. He's gonna try go down my inside this time, and he pushes me wide. He doesn't give a crap, and now I dive straight back down the inside at the last second, and so I keep my position. But Maldonado's a long way away, and I've got to do something about it while I have good tyres. So there we go, we finally see our little update. It's Alonso in the lead with Vettel and Rosberg, Hamilton, Massa in the top 5, and I'm back down to 17th where I started the day. Not ideal, but what can I do? Now I've made another mistake. I've lost my front wing all over again. It was the curb just behind in that turn. The sort of first right-hander in sector 3 is where I lost. I got stuck on the curb yet again, and I missed that footage. So it's deja vu, as I probably put in my worst performance of the series so far. Getting frustrated, even though I could have done very well here. I think there's been a retirement. You can see on the top left there are only 21 runners left, and I believe it's Bianchi. I'll have to check now for you, but it's just been a terrible race for me. I'm down in 18th, mile behind everyone else, just ahead of the back runners that have survived. So yeah, it's Bianchi. He's out of the race. Don't know what happened to him, but that's pretty much my race done and dusted. So I've now been lapped, and now I've been given a chance to catch up to Verne as a result. It will be a big achievement if I did catch him after 2 severe errors. I've got to keep going. I have Vettel coming up behind me. He'll want to lap me as well. That wastes a lot of time. There's Alonso now in the lead, and nearly made a mistake there. So I've got to keep pushing, catch that Toro Rosso pretty much all my might. It's not going to work. He's gained a little bit in me in sector 2 now, and Vettel is right behind. So I've got to feign my position and let him go, and unfortunately that wastes a lot of time. Yeah, so you don't know how, like the rules in F1 of course, if you ignore 3 blue flags you get a penalty. I don't know how quick the game responds to those flags, so I just had to let him go here. I lose all my pace in the straight, and I pretty much should have just braked early in the corner instead, but I just kind of panicked and got frustrated. So now that's the end of the race, I'm afraid. Definitely the most disappointing. I could have done much better than this, but I just bottled it, I'm afraid. And I just weave my tyres and pretty much hold my head in shame, letting my team down. Maldonado got the required 15th position, so he had a much better weekend than me, and that makes things much more difficult if I'm ever going to get more recognition at Williams. So there you go. The drivers getting the points there: Raikkonen, Perez, Button, Grosjean, Webber, Massa and Hamilton with the top 3. I believe it was Alonso, Vettel and Hamilton, so it was Rosberg for it, excuse me, so there was a bit of a change in the end there. And so we move on briefly to Drivers' Championship. It's back to Hamilton. He is 8 points clear of Alonso. Webber and Vettel make a statement of intent there, and we still have no points. So good job for Sauber there, but that's pretty much it for this episode. It's the shortest so far and the most disappointing. We move on to Spain, where I have much more of a chance as we move on to Europe. I'm very familiar with the tracks in Europe through my years of playing F1 games, whereas the vast majority of the Asian tracks in particular are brand new, and I have to get used to them. So Pastor Maldonado, he'll be delighted with beating me. Very, very poor behaviour by me, but we move on to Spain for round 5, and I certainly cross my fingers that'll be much better. So talk to you again soon. Bye bye.